They lost game 1 by 10, and it could have been more. They lost game 2 by 24.
Well, Bob, the real key is going to be exactly what Seattle did yesterday. Take this crowd and this energy and get off to a great start. Vital today for the Kings.
We'll have the ball off the tap. Jason Williams, a wild opening shot, symptomatic of part of their problem. And Kobe Bryant brings it back the other way. Spinning around Williams, finding O'Neal, knocked away and touched last by Sacramento.
Now, we know Jason Williams' personality is very hyper. He's got to be very careful, Bob. That first possession you spoke there, he was out of control, took a tough shot. He has got to channel his energy in positive ways for his team.
Here's Glenn Rice, shooting 55%, but off with that one. Anderson for 3. Divac flying in with an acrobatic attempt at a tip that won't go. Kobe Bryant in transition. Nobody on the board yet. We've played a minute. Williams, wide open 3. O'Neal with the rebound.
I think it's going to take about 5 minutes for the guys to get tired, and then we're going to settle into a game right now of frenetic pace. You know, then we'll break down to execution.
O'Neal. If he's going to hit that, they have even less chance than they had coming in, because that's pretty much what they want him to take from that distance. Well, speaking of Sacramento.
I agree with that, but that's the shot, though, that they want to not give him the dunks and the layups. You know, Bob, when we talk about this Laker team, what they have done in the first 2 games of this series, these 3 guys have combined for 80 points. Shaquille O'Neal is going to get his points. Look what he's shooting. But Glenn Rice and Kobe Bryant, 55% combined, over 45 points. When I talked to Rick Adelman before the game, one of the reasons they played this team well in the regular season, they did a good job on Glenn Rice. He shot under 40%. If they allow Kobe and Glenn Rice to get 45 points today, I don't think they have any chance to win this game.
After a foul by Glenn Rice, Jason Williams makes 1 of 2. Ron Harper guarded by Williams. In the lane, Rice. Off the glass, and he travels.
This building is electric, and you see Phil Jackson. We spoke with him before the game, and he said, you know what, he's very, very happy that his team gets a chance to play in this kind of environment, because as you move up in the playoffs, the talent's going to get better, and you're going to get this kind of building every night.
Jason Williams off to Divac. And a whistle as Weber received the pass, a 3-second violation against Sacramento. The sea of white you see in the stands, everyone wearing T-shirts given out as they entered Arco Arena saying Mission Possible on them. It's almost a college-like atmosphere in this town. This is the only major pro sports team in Sacramento. The building is perhaps the most raucous in the NBA.
And this team feeds off of it maybe better than any team in the NBA. Their home court has been great for them.
Shaq jump hook. Rebound to Weber.
No second shots for the Lakers. Very, very important. One of the keys has been their offensive rebounding in this series. The Kings doing a good job here early.
Anderson lost it. Lakers take off on the break. Harper. Here's Divac with the jumper.
That's an important shot, because we know Shaq is not going to come out of the paint. Now, in the first 2 games, Vlade shot 9 for 27, 33%. Shaq won't guard him out there if he's shooting like that.
Harper with 5 on the 24. Kobe Bryant got to get it off. And Divac wins the rebound battle. Williams races to the front court for the pull-up. This time it's Sacramento on the offensive glass, and Weber can't hit. A.C. Green nudged from behind by Corliss Williamson for the Sacramento foul. And let's check in with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. You know, I was talking to Ron Harper before the game, and he said that, you know, this whole season long, people have been asking him to compare this team with the dynasty that he played in Chicago. He said it's just been impossible to do that because it's just the regular season. He said what he will find out today is if this team does, in fact, have that killer instinct and able to shut this series off right now, take it in 3 and move on. If that happens, it feels like this team may be a team that could be the start of a dynasty. Bob?
The Kings asked for a 20-second timeout. It's 4-3 Lakers. When they finished the regular season in strong fashion and then gave Utah all they could handle in the first round of the playoffs, Sacramento lost 7 of its last 8, fell from the 7th seed to the 8th, and thus drew the Lakers, and now have been blown out in the first 2 playoff games, so they've lost 9 of their last 10. They began the year 9-1. Eventually, they were 27-14. They're well under 500 since, and Kobe Bryant puts the jumper down.
See, they've had no answers for Kobe Bryant. What the Lakers can do, Bob, is they can throw the ball into Shaq, let him create. If there's help, or if the shot clock starts working against you, they have Kobe Bryant to create at the end of that clock to get a shot for himself or someone else. That's a tough thing to defend against.
In a sense, in the triangle offense, playing the same role that Michael Jordan did. Weber moves in and powers a basket.
And you can see there a no call. Ron Harper stepped in to take the offensive foul. Offensive fouls have been critical in that game 1. Remember, Weber had 3 that took him out of that game early.
What I mean by the earlier comment, if out of the offense nothing develops, you're down to 5 seconds on the shot clock, you put it in Kobe's hands, as the Bulls did with Michael, and he does something like that.
Right on cue. That's what you talk about, getting guys in positions on the floor, and then Kobe knows if there's help exactly where his teammates are. That's why this system has been very good.
Lakers by 3. Nick Anderson, 4-3. Harper into the front court for L.A. And the foul is called on Jason Williams, his first.
If the Kings have an advantage in this series, it's Chris Webber in that low post. They have to come over and give help. Harper gets there, a no call. Webber has a tendency to drift out and shoot jump shots. 8 for 28 in game 2. He's got to get down there in that low post.
Harper fakes his way past his man and misses. O'Neal won't.
Again, that's the area that the Kings have just really struggled in, the defensive rebounding. About 39 offensive rebounds in the first 2 games. They've missed 90 shots. That's a whopping 43% rebound percentage. You can't win like that.
Webber from Williams. The ball bounced up and hit the shot clock. Dead ball. It'll go to the Lakers with 6:36 to play in the first, and they lead by 5.
Down the basketball, and Sacramento has not been able to do that in the first 2 games. And this is what I was talking about. The Lakers have missed 90 shots in the first 2 games, 39 offensive rebounds. That's 43% of the missed shots they have gotten back. Now, what does that do? It forces the Kings, when the Lakers score, to be able to take the ball out of the basket. Now they can wall Jason Williams in. They can't fast break. They get into a half-court game, and that's where the Lakers are at their best. You see today, 1 out of 5, so 20% has come down. Let's keep our eye on that number.
Offensive rebounding is one antidote to the running game. The running game Sacramento wants to play. A.C. Green left unattended, can't hit. And Webber rebounds.
See, I think they've got to have an idea now. Where do we want to go and attack? Not all these long jump shots. Go in the post, either to Vlade or Webber. Make something happen.
Here's Vlade with the jumper. And Harper with the rebound. The Lakers look to run. Kobe all the way to the rack, plus the foul.
Well, where's the transition defense? Now, Kobe Bryant goes length to the floor. This is the most explosive player on the Laker team in the open court. You'd think you'd make him pass the basketball. Look at Kobe. Nobody is near him. He runs the ball, takes it right to the basket. Now, the problem you have is Kobe is guarding Jason Williams. Jason Williams is not guarding Kobe, so on any missed shot, there's a cross match. Nick Anderson has got to get over to him.
3-point play for Bryant, who started fast with 7 points. And here are the Kings making their last stand and down by 8 on their home floor in the early going. Weber was fouled, and he'll come to the line.
What they did in game 2, they got Shaquille O'Neal in foul trouble, got him 2 early fouls, which just took away a little bit from his production. That's his first foul today. But it can't be all jump shots. You got to pick and choose. Drive it some, post him some, step out and shoot some jump shots. Give him a little different look.
Weber's 6th in the league in scoring at 24.5. 5th in the league in rebounding at 10.5 a game. Hits the first. His free throw shooting has improved dramatically from under 50% a year ago to better than 75% this season.
And what has that done? That has given him confidence at the end of the game to be the guy they'll go through, that if you get fouled, you feel good going to that free throw line and being able to make shots.
Glenn Rice guarded by Anderson. Jumper over him. Rice has generally shot the ball better on the road this year than at home, although he was on in the first 2 games at the Staples Center in this series.
Well, it's interesting, but if you look at the Lakers' big 3 scores, they average more on the road than they do at home.
Weber off the glass, no good. The rebound to Green. Weber trying to contend with O'Neal. Makes him take the relatively long jumper, which he misses, but again the Lakers are on the offensive glass. It's poked away from Harper, and Divac has it. Anderson in transition, can't hit it, but Weber can.
In the first 2 games, the Lakers have under 10 turnovers a game. Sacramento on the year forces almost 18. That's what happens when you force turnovers. You can get some layups.
Now it's Divac on O'Neal. Another turnover. Williams comes up with it. Anderson is fouled at midcourt by Bryant.
You get out and you get running. Now Nick Anderson misses a little layup, but you never quit on the play. Here comes Chris Webber for the follow-up. And nobody blocked him out, and the reason why is because there was a fast break. It was a broken play, so you're scrambling to try to find somebody.
Back line, Williams slices through the defense and lays it in. And the crowd comes alive, Arco.
Yeah, I think that Jason Williams can really help this team by getting some deflections and steals.
Shaq off the dribble. Banks it home.
Wow, how good was that? Shaquille O'Neal with a 1-dribble pull-up using the glass.
Divac is hammered. And a Laker foul. But back to Shaq for a moment. Yes, he's Goliath. Yes, he's the strongest man in the league and maybe the strongest man ever to play in the NBA. But his skills are very refined.
That's a great point, Bob. How many big guys can step out on the floor, that kind of bulk and size, and do that now? Interestingly enough, after that score, the Kings turned and ran it right back up the floor, and Shaq picked up his 2nd foul. Vlade took the ball right through his chest and got the foul. Now, if Shaq goes out, they're going to have to take advantage of this, of his 2 fouls. If not, keep going at him. Maybe he'll get his 3rd.
The Lakers ask for time with 3:57 to play in the first. Listen to the byplay between Ron Harper and official Ron Garrettson. Weber trying to maneuver in. Now listen.
You got to pick your 3 seconds or a travel. We can't have both at the same time.
You know what?
What?
I'll take travel.
Okay. I'll say my look was inconclusive. Huh? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, Hart.
Ronnie Garrettson working with Bob Delaney and Tom Washington today.
See, that's a little side of Ron Harper that he brings to this Laker team. The cool, under fire, playing those championships on the road, all the things he did with the Chicago Bulls. That's that little cool hand that he brings to keep his team stable in this kind of environment. When you have a chance, maybe to short circuit a little bit.
After the timeout, Shaq is removed from the game by Phil Jackson with the 2 fouls, and John Sally comes in to replace him.
Interesting enough, Delk in the game now playing against Kobe Bryant, and you've got Stojakovic in the game early for Williamson.
Here's Rice, 5 on the 24. He fires a long 3 and misses it badly. But Divac touched it last as it goes out.
Tony Delk has been terrific in this series. Nick Anderson has struggled. When I talked to Rick Adelman before the game, I said, could you play both of these guys together, Delk and Jason Williams? He said, I think I can do that. So you see that early in this game, he wants to get Tony Delk on the floor.
Green off the inbound. Finds Sally for the stuff.
Now, those are the baskets that you do not want to give the Lakers. You allow John Sally to come off the bench. AC Green makes a play. Sally gets a dunk. Those are the baskets that you got to take away from them.
Needless turnover as it slipped out of Weber's hands. Here's Green laying it in.
So Shaq is resting. He's got 2 fouls. And you give up a dunk to Sally, a steal, and a layup to AC Green. Now is when they got to make their push. Take advantage of Shaq sitting.
Weber. He has 8. Kobe Bryant, shot clock at 8. Williams over to help Delk. 3 seconds to shoot. Rice on the move, beats the buzzer and misses. Delk takes the rebound. And there's a foul as they scramble for it. It'll go against AC Green.
The home court is an amazing thing. We saw this yesterday in Seattle. In Utah, it looked like Seattle was a totally dispirited team. Yesterday, they were a step quicker. They were more aggressive. They made plays happen they didn't on the road. Today, we see Sacramento doing that same thing.
The Lakers are over the limit. Divac will shoot. And folks, you can log on to MSNBCSports.com and click on Showtime Online for in-depth playoff coverage. Check out analysis from Isaiah Thomas and email Bill Walton your playoff questions. Plus, Matt Gukas looks at the surprise players so far, and Snapper Jones tells us why the Jazz can't be written off in the West. MSNBCSports.com, the official website of NBC Sports. Divac comes up empty at the line.
Sacramento 5 of 8 from the free throw line. The Lakers have only been there one time. They're 1 of 1, so we know how important free throws are.
Harper to the baseline, leans in, shoots an air ball, but Sally grabs it.
Shot clock winding down. They got to get it up.
It'll be Bryant. Oh, that just takes your heart out if you're Sacramento.
Second shots again. How often do we talk about it?
Here's Divac slamming into Sally, and the foul will go against Sally, who had hoped to establish position, but didn't quite do it. But look at this. Harper shoots an air ball. It winds up in Sally's hands, so as you said, Doug, the shot clock is still ticking down. He spins and fires a 3. Oh, man.
That's almost the same kind of shot, except he hit it from the top of the circle in Game 2 when Nick Anderson was all over him. He spun, and when he was having a great game, hit that falling shot of about 32 feet for 3 points. But you see the Lakers backcourt scoring again. Kobe Bryant off to a great start. Jason Williams has struggled. But Bob, one of the things I've seen here early was Sacramento. In L.A., they did not fast break after made field goals. Today, they're immediately getting the ball out, getting it up the floor, and twice we've seen Vlade get fouled on quick fast breaks.
During the regular season, the Lakers won 3 of 4 from Sacramento, but most of the games were close. Rice connects off the glass, plus the foul. In fact, the 2 games here, one was a victory for Sacramento. The other, a game they felt they should have won. They led in the waning seconds. They thought some calls went against them. So here at Arco, they almost had the better of it, you could say, in those 2 games against the Lakers. But now counting the playoffs, they've lost 5 of 6 to L.A.
It's interesting, but in those games, Bob, if you looked at the scores, the games were more high scoring in L.A. At home, they played more of a half-court defensive game and had a chance to win. I don't think people realize when you look out here, everybody talks about the firepower of the Kings. I'll take the Laker firepower over the Kings. You know, you got 80 points in the bank with 3 guys before the game starts.
And it's the Lakers by 10. Weber has it swatted away by Sally. Then misses on the follow. A third try, and he was fouled.
Now there's where Chris Webber's got to be. The advantage is Chris Webber inside against the power forwards, especially with Shaquille O'Neal sitting on the bench with fouls. He leans in, he misses it, actually gets it blocked, gets it back. This one he misses, does not quit on the play. 3 efforts and gets up and gets fouled. This is going to be the 9th and 10th free throws of the quarter for Sacramento. That means they're attacking, not just shooting jump shots.
And Weber is true once more at the line. Shaq with a couple of early fouls, a spectator, as the first quarter draws toward its close.
Actually, Bob, it's 11th and 12th free throw attempts. Vlade had gotten down there the possession before, so they are doing the job here, and you see the difference right now. And the reason they're in this ball game only down 9 is because of the free throws.
Here's Kobe streaking to the baseline for the jumper. Divac snatches the rebound down. Jason Williams, little stutter step, and his pass picked off by Harper. Delk is back with him. Harper goes all the way and is fouled.
What I talk about yesterday about leaving your feet to pass. Jason Williams has such speed and quickness. He gets down on the baseline, and this is exactly what the Lakers want to do. Send him on that baseline, run a big man at him, and then take away the passing lane coming out. Yesterday, we saw Stockton get forced down there, stayed on his feet, and found the open man. Jason Williams has got to stay on the floor.
Harper misses the first. Next Sunday on NBC, it's Jason and the Argonauts, a world premiere miniseries. He traveled to the end of the world and faced impossible odds to capture the Golden Fleece and rescue a kingdom. The classic story, Jason and the Argonauts, next Sunday on NBC.
Well, the Kings fans would like to see Jason and the Kings playing next Sunday, but to do that, they're going to have to play today.
Which may be more difficult than capturing the Golden Fleece. Winning this series from the prohibitive favorite Lakers, down 0-2. A lucky bounce for Harper on the second try. Weber screens for Williams. Now has it back. Running one-hander. Pollard the follow.
I really like what Sacramento is doing. They're not just launching quick shots. They're making the extra pass. And more importantly, Bob, they're getting inside, getting some points in the paint, getting guys in foul trouble. That will take its toll as time goes on.
Rice hands to Bryant. And there's a whistle before he makes his move. An offensive foul. It's on Rice, his second.
That's that little guard around play that the Lakers like to run, and as Kobe came off hard, Glenn Rice turned and bumped off the defender. It's a moving pick.
Bob Delaney says hold on. And this one will be on Kobe. It's his second. So you got Rice with 2, Shaq with 2, and Bryant with a couple.
See the importance of Kobe Bryant being able to stay on the floor. You see the great start in the fouls. But with Shaq down, you've always got 2 guys that can score with he and Rice on the floor together. That's why you've got to attack those people, make Phil goes to his bench, and bring in some guys who can't put points on the board.
Bryant stating his case to Bob Delaney. Williams makes 1 of 2. Rice against Stojakovic. Green on the offensive glass, and now they can hold it for the last one. Down to 5. It'll be Kobe just toying with Delk. Steps back for 3. And after 1, it's the Lakers by 6. watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.
See, his hand is right here on him, and now Jason Williams wants to know, why isn't this a foul? So he asked Ronnie Garretson for an explanation.
I'm not going to let that little bout of contact let you lose that pass. I will blow my whistle. Yeah, but if you're head and shoulders by him, Jace, they don't want us calling that unless he clearly reroutes you.
So, Bob, the explanation is if he is not by Kobe Bryant and he puts his hand out to prevent him from going around him, it's a foul. If he gets the advantage and gets around him, they said, unless he reroutes you, we're not going to call that. So Jason Williams got in the air and turned the ball over.
Shaquille O'Neal back in as the second quarter begins. They immediately go to him in the paint against Pollard. Ball knocked away, but into Harper's hands. Now it's Horry. Shaquille chases it down. Another offensive rebound for LA. No help for Pollard, who fouls him.
It's interesting, when Shaq went down with fouls, they were actually up 17-13 by 4. They end the quarter 11-9, so they gained 2 points with Shaq resting. So that's one of the things the Lakers have been able to do. Even when a guy gets in foul trouble, not to lose that lead. Actually, they increased it, which is a big break for them today.
Shaq's first free throw attempt, no good.
You look at the games, on 46 points, Shaq was rolling, okay? In game 2, it was Kobe. He got in foul trouble. But look, 5 for 11 free throws. And Phil Jackson told us, he said it's the first time he felt that Shaq got a couple fouls, came in, got tentative, and it really affected his free throw shooting. He lost some concentration.
Shaw is in for Harper. Rice guarding Stojakovic. Stojakovic has not had a good series, and he tries to get off here by driving to the bucket for the jam. He had shot just 2 for 11 in the series prior to this.
Well, then they need him to go. This is the same thing he did last year in the playoffs. Played great against Utah regular season, then had a tough playoff series. Couple easy baskets. Maybe he'll get rolling here.
Glenn Rice and Rick Fox have done a good job on him defensively through the first 2 games. Bryant misses, and it's Stojakovic who picks it up. Williams behind the back pass finds nobody in particular, but there's a Laker foul.
The question I have is, why take that kind of pass? The risk reward is not there for you. You got to know when to make a play like this. You're down 5 in a playoff game. Now, they're very fortunate they got bailed out with a foul, but those are the kind of plays that Jason Williams just can't make in the playoffs.
The foul was on Horry, his first. Now Webber spins right by him for the power slam.
Webber, and I'm a little man sitting up on his shoulder. Chris, stay down there. Don't go out and shoot jump shots.
And O'Neal is fouled as he receives the pass, and Pollard quickly picks up a couple trying to contend with him.
As Shaq is a load for the Lakers down there and has the advantage, Chris Webber has it over the Laker power forwards. If he will go down there and you see his pal, Vlade Divac, exhorting his teammate on, but if he will stay down there, the Lakers will have to help. Then he can be a passer out of the post.
His jumper is too hard off the glass. Here come the Kings, now down by only 3 after trailing by 10. It's Delk, who cuts it to 1.
Now that was beautiful. Absolutely under control. Jason Williams made the simple pass. Tony Delk buried the jump shot.
Arco in an uproar, and Shaq can't silence them, but there was a foul. The whistle couldn't be heard at first above the crowd. It's Scott Pollard's third.
Simple basketball can be very pretty, especially in the playoffs. Gave him the ball right where he needed it, right in the shooting pocket. He buried the jumper. Tony Delk is playing well. The team is right back in the game, and the crowd is loving it. Bob, to be continued today. When you look at Jason Williams, you love his flair. You love his confidence. He's a work in progress. And if he continues to take the rough edges off of his game, you're going to see a whole lot more good than you do bad and ugly. But this is a great environment and a great experience for him to continue to grow. And in being around him, he really does want to learn. He's under a real microscope, and he's doing his best.
Jack misses the first. Vlade Divac has come back in, replacing Scott Pollard, who committed 3 fouls in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, trying to guard Shaq. Shaq may foul Divac out, Pollard out, and Bill Wennington too, and Wennington's on the bench in street clothes.
What we talk about is what it does. It gets you into penalty early, and then all of a sudden, Rice is shooting free throws. Kobe, that's where it really hurts you.
Here's Weber, and even his foul troubles at times have come from trying to help out on Shaq. Stojakovic. They need him to get off in this game if they're going to have any kind of chance. He averaged 20 a game against them in the regular season, stymied in the first 2 games of this series in L.A. The Lakers quickly in transition, and Ori is fouled.
Home is such a wonderful place, especially for bench players. They play better at home. They feel more confident. Stojakovic started out the game with a layup. That widens that basket, makes that jumper go down a lot easier. And if he gets it going, he's that explosive element off the bench that the Lakers had no answer for. Glenn Rice has outplayed him in the first 2 games. They need him desperately today.
Ori was fouled by Weber, and Weber now has 2. The veteran Tyrone Corbin checks in, and Weber with the 2 fouls goes out.
Now, can the Kings do what the Lakers did? When Shaq went down, they were absolutely able to increase their lead by 2. What's going to happen now with Weber sitting down with 2 fouls?
Ori missed them both. The game remains tied. The Kings are on a 13-3 run. They haven't led in the game, and they still don't.
It's a good shot, though, by Stojakovic. Good shot.
Here's Rick Fox in for the first time. Brian Shaw into the lane. Fox out of the corner. The rebound to Divac.
Tyrone Corbin got hurt on that last play, Bob.
He is slow to get up at the other end as Divac takes the open jumper. Fox with the rebound.
Corbin wants out. He looked over to Rick Adelman. They're going to have to take a foul here, I think, to get him out of the game.
And they do. John Barry took it. Now, a consideration there was, if you're going to take a foul, let's make sure it's not taken by somebody we want to risk having in foul trouble. And it was John Barry, so to that extent, it was a smart move.
Well, you can see what happened. Shaw goes in, and he knocks John Barry down, and he goes into the leg of Tyrone Corbin. It was right in my vision here, Bob. I could see it. That was a nasty fall. You're going to see Tyrone Corbin being helped off the floor. I'm sure he'll be looked at by the team doctor. And also, if you're going to take a foul, if you're in the penalty, foul Shaq.
Yep.
Foul somebody who's a good free throw shooter.
It was a smart move 2 ways. Barry to commit the foul, and they fouled the right guy.
See, 2 for 5 for Shaq today, and even though he shot his free throws much better during the course of this season as it's gone on, it's still a factor come playoff time. Teams are going to make him make foul shots.
But look at this. They're on the offensive glass again. Luckily for Sacramento, Shaquille doesn't convert, and then there's a Laker foul.
Remember the last time we were here, we see Phil Jackson. He spoke about Shaq's free throw shooting with us before the game. But, Bob, remember the last time we were here, Shaq made a big free throw on a three-point play that won the game for his team under pressure.
Shaq is 2 for his last 11 free throws in this series, going back to game 2. John Barry can't hit. Volleyballed around into Funderburk's hands. And Stojakovic was fouled out on the perimeter by Fox. That's 2 on Fox. Fox is rooting as hard as anybody for a Lakers sweep. Game 4 is scheduled for Tuesday night here, if there is a Game 4. And if that's the case, Fox will miss the game because they're going to induce labor. His wife, Vanessa Williams, expecting a child. So the Lakers are on a mission to end this thing for several reasons, one of which is that they'd like Rick Fox to be there for the birth of the child without having to worry about his teammates playing Game 4. Here's Delk. And it's Fox who pulls down the rebound. His jumper won't go, but it's into O'Neal's hands, and the Lakers retake the lead.
Good effort that time, but no communication. Two guys from Sacramento, Stojakovic and Berry, going for the rebound. They knocked it away from one another. The Lakers have only scored 4 points in this period. We played over 4 minutes.
O'Neal now with 10. Divot's the hook against him, and Shaq rebounds. Fox for 3. It bounces up over the glass and into the shot clock. Kings ball.
We talked about Shaquille O'Neal, that he's going to get 34, 35 points, and he's going to get them in a variety of ways. These might be the 2 easiest points he gets today. The ball knocked loose, and Shaq's standing right there in the right spot. He catches it, and he dunks the ball in the basket.
Shaq is the only starter on the floor right now for the Lakers. They have the rookie Devin George in. Robert Horry, Brian Shaw, Derek Fisher out there along with Shaq. Foul was called on Stojakovic, and the clock stops with 7:31 to play in the half. Vlade Divac is tireless when it comes to charity work, much of it directed toward helping the children in the Balkans affected by the war and strife there. And before the game, he was presented with the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award as voted by the NBA writers, represented in this case by Aileen Boyson of the Sacramento Bee.
Well, also, too, he's been very gracious with us. Every game that we've come in here, he's taken the time to come visit with us, talk about the game, and, you know, it's great to see Vlade get that award. Well deserved.
Sacramento down by 2. Here is Divac with the ball. Stojakovic for 3. It caroms out long, but Shaq taps it to George, who flips it to Fisher. Little pull-up. Way off. Can't miss it by much more than that. George tries to follow, and he's fouled on the play.
Well, Devin George made a nice play there. Again, the offensive rebounds. Derek Fisher really clanged that ball off the glass. He was going forward, had no place to go, clanged it off the glass, and Devin George, again, doing what the Lakers have done all series long, and that's get the second shot. Has going to get to the free throw line, but the Lakers like this young guy.
Foul was on Barry, his second. Earlier, I said Stojakovic had been charged with a foul just before the timeout. That was not the case. He had some blood showing, and they had to stop play because that's an NBA rule. You can't have a player out on the floor who is bleeding, who has an open cut. It's obviously been closed, and he's back on the floor. Report on Ty Corbin, mild left knee sprain. They'll reevaluate his status at halftime.
Now, you've seen what the Lakers did defensively. First of all, they're extending the floor here, getting them to use a little clock. Now, when they post up Vlade, they were double teaming with Horry so that to protect Shaq from his third foul. So let's see if they do that again here. Actually, they got Horry playing him now with Shaq helping.
Divac to Delk. It spins out, and Shaq claims the rebound.
Tony Delk's had some good shots, just not been able to knock one in.
Williams and Weber at the scorers table for Sacramento. Delk deflects it, but Shaq has it. 5 on the shot clock. Fisher. The Lakers in a real offensive drought in the second quarter. Divac fakes Shaq off his feet, deals to Funderburg.
Vlade did a nice job that time, Bob. Pump fake, created the shot. Here's Devin George in the game. And I said, remember, they really like this young guy. Division III player, big scorer, first-round pick of the Lakers, and he's developing nicely here.
First Division III player ever selected in the first round by any NBA team. A Sacramento turnover. And here comes George out of Little Augsburg University in Minneapolis, where they don't even give athletic scholarships. The Lakers do give the ball back to Sacramento.
Now, Chris Webber and Jason Williams are checking back into the game. Webber picked up his second foul at the 9:30 mark, set for about 4 minutes, and they were outscored 6-0. How badly did they miss him? They did not even score. The Lakers pushed the lead to 6.
John Barry's pass knocked down. He goes to the floor after it, and Tom Washington spots a foul. It's on Robert Horry, his second.
I think the Lakers probably have, the Kings probably have their best offensive team on the floor right now. Stojakovic and Barry out there with Jason Williams, Webber in the post, and Divac. Let's see if they can generate some offense.
Webber backing in on Horry, finding Divac, his 20-footer, won't go.
Now, Vlade just can't make a shot.
Bryant trying to find Shaq, and does. And Divac is lucky he got his hand out of the way. That's the way you wind up with some broken fingers or a broken wrist.
Now, this is the point of the game where the Kings have to hang tough. In Game 2, the Lakers went on like a 16-3 run to break that game open. They're on an 8-0 run now.
Webber, the fake on Horry, the dish to Williams for 3. And O'Neal takes his 12th rebound of this first half. Kobe, Williams fouled him on the reach-in. That's his second. Timeout with 4:29 to play in the half. Lakers looking to close it out, up by 8.
Trying to draw the offensive foul. Ron Harper, ever the spokesman for this team, goes to Ron Garrison and said, why wasn't that called?
What? You're out here, I know, not just to talk socially. What?
This man got the offensive foul by giving his partner.
Yeah?
Chris do it every time for them.
But Bobby's got to stand his ground a little more. No, seriously. As soon as Robert feels anything, he reacts back, and we're not going to give him that. So just tell Bobby, if he stands there and takes it, Chris knocks him off his legal spot, we'll call an offensive foul.
Nice explanation again by Ron Garrison there with Ron Harper talking about if Webber dislodges him and he doesn't flop back, that he will get the call. And we saw 3 of those in Game 1 today. He's not gotten any calls on him today, so very fortunate for the Kings. And again, good communication between official and player.
With 12 points and 12 rebounds, Shaq sits. John Sally is back in. And Bryant makes the second one.
The Kings have missed their last 10 shots, and Vlade Divac, we talked about him not being able to make a shot. He's 1 of 6. Jason Williams 1 of 5. So 2 key outside shooters, 2 for 11 today.
Stojakovic, a whole different story in this game.
You can see what they're doing. They're getting some movement on the weak side. In L.A., they did a lot of standing. Webber at the ball at the top, a lot of screening to free the shooter up.
Kobe from 20, and there's his answer. He's the game's high man with 13. Webber and Shaq each with a dozen.
Will Phil Jackson try to buy the rest of this half with Shaq to prevent him from getting any more fouls? If they keep the lead, probably.
Webber out to Divac. Little scoop shot is good.
Vlade actually had a wide open jump shot. You can tell he didn't trust it. Shaq looks on, the lead down to 6. Approaching the 3-minute mark here of half.
Lakers asked for time. It'd be much worse for Sacramento if LA was hitting free throws. They're just 7 of 16.
Well, we've always said that the jury's still out on the Lakers free throw shooting, specifically Shaq. If they have an Achilles heel, it's three-point shooting and free throw shooting. Today, they've been able to battle through it, and they lead by 6.
Of biblical proportions if Sacramento came back to somehow win this series.
Now the Lakers love to spurt at the end of quarters. Sacramento's within 6. Let's see what happens here, if they can push the lead or if Sacramento can claw back into it.
Kobe Deals to Harper, and it's right through Ore's hands, a Laker turnover.
You know, Bob, after the first quarter when the Sacramento Kings had gotten to the line 14 times, made 10 of them, they have not shot a free throw in this period.
Here's Nick Anderson back in. Ineffective so far. Weber on the move, trying to follow his own shot, and he's fouled. Following our game on NBC.
Tonight on Dateline, daredevils, they thrive on fear, feed on the adrenaline rush. Could the need to stare death in the face be something in their blood? Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central on NBC.
I sort of feel like a daredevil sitting here with you sometimes, Bob. I never know where that ride is going to take me.
Just hang gliding your way through. Weber missed the first one. AC Green back in, Robert Horry out. Harper thought about a three. Instead goes to the post for Shaq. Tough shot, and he can't hit it. That's about all you can do defensively, make him take a shot like that. Williams went behind the back, again for no apparent reason. Look at Shaq handle that ball. His pass bounces away from Harper, but O'Neal recovers it, scores, and is fouled.
See, Jason Williams, you see Rick Adams, he's saying, why? Jason, why make this play? We're down 5. And you try to make this sensational play. Kobe gets a piece of it. Vlade's diving, trying to save it. They get in the open court. And Shaq throws one of these ankle flankers off of Ron Harper. He picks it up, and he's going to get a three-point play. So when Shaq throw that carom off the ankle, and you see Rick Adelman. See, those are plays that break your back. Instead of maybe cutting it to 3, they push it to 8. You can't make those plays.
There are times when a fancy pass, a behind the backer, is actually what's required to make a daring play. Not in that case. Stojakovic way off with that one. Harper all the way to the basket, but doesn't get the roll. It spills off the lip of the rim. Divac to the floor with Bryant, and Kobe fouled him. And that's going to be 3 on Kobe.
Boy, very fortunate there as you see that little sheepish grin by Phil Jackson. Nobody stops the ball. Look at this. Goes right to the front of the rim. Lays it a little short. And then Kobe, in a flurry trying to strip the ball away from Divac, gets his 3rd foul. Big turnaround there.
So now Divac, the Lakers center in between Kareem and Shaq. The guy they traded to Charlotte for the draft rights for Kobe Bryant. So he plays a significant part, speaking of Divac, in Laker history. In fact, he was the center on the Laker team that went to the finals last time Magic Johnson was there in '91 when they lost to Jordan and the Bulls, Chicago's first title.
Well, the reason they were able to make that deal was because they were going to sign Shaq as a free agent so they could move Vlade, get the piece in the middle of Shaq as a free agent, then Kobe Bryant. Boy, how championships teams are born. Remember how they got Magic Johnson and James Worthy early in the 70s and 80s.
Here's Rice. And Divac rebounds. Divac has 10 points and 9 boards in this half. Weber. Oh, man. What a move, plus the foul.
The guy has eye-popping ability. He can mesmerize you with the dribble. Look at this, 6'9", between his legs, the little head and shoulder, gets inside those big old hands of his, the powerful finish. Remember now, when he sat down, the score was 30-all. They were outscored 9-0. So with him back in the lineup, he has pushed them back into this game now, Bob, only down 3.
AC Green is the Iron Man, but he might as well have been made of stone the way Weber went past him on that play. Shaq is doubled, brings it out to Shaw, who pumps up a three, and that's a big one for the Lakers.
That's why you want veterans on your team. Ryan Shaw, great confidence as the season has gone on. Phil Jackson has loved his contributions. Now with Kobe with fouls, he trusts him to be out there.
Anderson answers with a three.
Boy, they need that from Nick Anderson. He's sort of again the forgotten man here.
Divac deflected it away, but Shaq has it back. Nice pass through a crowd to AC Green.
That's 2 lucky bounces the Lakers have gotten. That's gotten them 5 points. It looked like Divac had to steal. It goes right back to Shaq.
What's Williams thinking about? A drive to the basket and a left-hand lay-in. He gets that look. He gets that body language. You know something's going to happen. You just don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
Well, he doesn't hear or see anything either. He gets in his own world.
About a 3-second overlap. Here's Harper. Wild shot on the run, and it goes.
The intangibles of Ron Harper.
Last 5 seconds. Williams cut off by Rice. Gets it to Divac for the three at the buzzer that's way off.
Score at halftime, the Los Angeles Lakers 51. Your Sacramento Kings 46.
Entertaining first half ends with the Lakers eyeing the sweep in front by 5. Stay tuned for Hannah Storm and company in our New York studios with net zero at the half. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC. The next round Sunday at the Staples Center, and they have a 5-point lead in pursuit of that objective.
Well, they have to like what happened there in the half. They were able to make some critical plays to stay ahead, and Shaquille O'Neal had a very dominant first half, and so did Chris Webber. Both of the big guys, the stars from both teams. 15 and 12 for Shaq. You see, though, concern there, 3 of 7 at the free throw line. Webber did a nice job, 16 and 9. When Webber was out, though, with those 2 fouls, his team was outscored 9-0. He's got to stay on the floor.
Here's Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Phil Jackson telling the team at halftime he felt like Sacramento had given them their best shot. All they got to do now is step it up, play with a lot more energy. And he told each guy to go out and practice their foul shooting, seeing exactly where they were down in the first half. Rick Adelman told his team that they were happy where they were, only 5 points down. They hadn't been hitting their shots. But the most important part of this entire game would be the initial 2 or 3 minutes in this second half. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. And the word on the veteran Tyrone Corbin. They said they would reevaluate him at halftime. Left knee sprain. He will not return.
Take a look at the team leaders. Webber, and O'Neal, and O'Neal. So we talked about how well those guys have played. I think the statistics bear that out.
Laker ball as they start the second half and look to finish the series. Looked like Harper traveled and got away with it. O'Neal to Harper. And it's the Lakers by 7.
That's the guy that's going to have to make shots because Jason Williams is going to help back in the post. Shaq knows that, and he just looks on the other side of the floor. Harper goes to that open area.
Chris Webber, given a bit of room by AC Green, fires over him. Kobe with 10 on the shot clock. Now it's Harper, 4 seconds to shoot. Harper on the move. And Williamson with the rebound. Corliss Williamson, pretty much a non-factor in this series to this point. Webber again, same result.
Now the one thing that's nice about that, he's hit 2 outside jumpers. Bob, the bad thing about that is that he doesn't fall in love with that shot and forget that he's got to go inside. Mix up your game.
Shaq, 7 seconds to shoot. Backing in on Divac. The jump hook isn't there. But AC Green is for the rebound.
See, now Weber's hanging around in the paint thinking about helping with Shaq. And who's his guarding? AC Green. He goes right to the boards and he gets the second shot.
Kobe against Nick Anderson, who can't possibly cover him one-on-one. And the help arrived too late.
What a tough shot, though.
Corliss Williamson had it blocked by Ron Harper, who has always been an excellent defender, and even at age 36 can get the job done. There was a foul on the play, though.
As Corliss Williamson goes to the free throw line, you were talking a little bit about we haven't spoken much about him. Bob, one of the reasons why is 2 years ago, he was their low post presence. He was the guy they went to, played actually as a power forward, although he has small forward size. They signed Vlade and Weber. And what's happened? Look at his minutes. Since his points have gone down, that's with the addition of Weber and Divac. So he's no longer a primary weapon like he was the years before they got here. That's why it's a very tough fit for him on this team, because he's really a low-post player, and they need a shooter in that position. So they're going to have to reevaluate where he fits into this team in the offseason.
He makes it a three-point game again. Shaq had it knocked away, but there's a foul. Number 2 on Divac. Rick Adelman making a point with Ronnie Garrettson. Harper looking for Shaq. Finding him on the right block. Little jump, and he beat the shot clock. And there was a foul, evidently. It would have been a 24-second violation because I don't think the shot drew iron.
That's a good call, but Tommy Washington had the call as Shaq powered in. Now, Shaq loves to come to the middle. Shot clock right there on the left. He loves to do that hop step and lean in. The foul is called right there, and you still see the clock on 1. So that is a good call. See, the tough thing about playing Shaq down there in that block is he comes to the middle with that strong hop step and leans in. If you cut that off, he swims baseline and shoots the jump hook, so he's got a counter move. Again, free throw shooting Shaq today, now 3 of 8.
You were talking with Vlade Divac before the game about denying Shaq position. He says we try to get him to receive the ball as far out from the basket as possible, but Shaq is far from a one-dimensional player, and each time he comes down, he tries to give you a different look, set up in a different place, so you can't predict where you'd like to be to deny him. Whistle at the other end.
And he said the tough thing really to do is you see the foul out on the perimeter. Kobe Bryant, that will be his 4th. That's that little hand touch, hand check that we talked about. Why is this a foul? Because they viewed that as getting an advantage, being able to prevent him from penetrating. Yes, it's a touch foul, but the referees are instructed to make that call.
Williams misses on the move, and it winds up in Shaq's hands.
Now, Phil Jackson, why isn't he running Kobe out of the game? Because you know what? He says, I want this young guy to learn how to play with fouls. He's got to learn how to play with 4 fouls and still know what he has to do.
The Lakers are so good that even in the playoffs, as Shaq receives and misses, AC Green has it, and he can't convert. Even in the playoffs, the Lakers can think of the long range rather than the moment. Corliss Williamson scores.
That's where Corliss Williamson is effective, down on that block. I'm not so sure he's not a guy that with the second unit wouldn't be more effective than the first, because they could go to him down there.
It's a one-point game. Bryant can't quiet the crowd. Sacramento can take the lead, but they don't.
All right, I'm going to say it again. Don't leave your feet to pass. What happened? He got in the air, and he had no place to go, and you've got to try to either that or throw the ball at the basket. Come to a jump stop at that free throw line. If the defense backs off, pull up and shoot it.
They had a 3-on-2 and couldn't make it work. And Sacramento still has never led in this game.
Rick Adelman has to be very happy, though, at the start of this period.
Kobe gets the bounce to complete a gorgeous move.
Now, Kobe's got a bad wrist, and he and Vlade are tangled up. We'll have to see if he's okay.
Apparently they both are. Anderson for three. Could have tied it, but it popped out. Shaq got it deep on Divac, plus the foul. And Divac is saying, look, I just tried to hold my ground and I had my arms upraised. How can that be a foul?
We talked about when Shaquille gets it there, that's called a paint catch. And he just powers it up. I personally think that's a no call myself because Shaq drove the ball up through his arms. He's really the one who created the contact. Vlade didn't reach in his hands. I think that's a play on. You don't make that call.
Yeah, I think Divac and Adelman are right on this one. Instead, Vlade gets his third foul. Ball goes out of bounds. Who touched it last? Sacramento did.
Now, you talked about the big picture for the Lakers. They have the opportunity to be able to do that. Well, if that's the case, you have to be concerned here with Shaq's free throw shooting. He's in one of those slumps right now. They do not want that to be something that will affect him as this goes on.
He's beneath 50% on his free throws in this series. 12 of 26. Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, Doug Collins. Let me ask you about Jason Williams. How would you gauge his progress if, in fact, he has progressed from last year to this?
Well, I think, first of all, there's a couple areas he's going to have to grow in. Knowing when to make the spectacular play, when to make the simple plays. We see Rice out of the timeout bury the three. But more importantly, when he doesn't have the basketball, both on the offense and defensive, that he can be a factor. He has a tendency now, when he doesn't have it, to stand. If he's not guarding the ball, to stand and watch. He can create so many more opportunities, but he's going to have to continue to take the rough edges off his game.
Here he is with the ball, 7 on the shot clock. His three isn't there. It rolls to Harper. Bryant streaks out, and Kobe scores with a whirling move after evading Williams' attempt to slap the ball away.
Well, one same thing we've seen the Lakers do is on long jump shots, release and run out.
Divac has it smacked away by Shaq. Lakers looking to bust it open. Suddenly in front by 10. Kobe for three. Rebound Williamson.
Take your time here, get a good shot.
Corliss Williamson wide open.
That's a good shot. In transition, take your time. Now you've got to get some defensive stops. Remember, Kobe Bryant has 4 fouls.
That basket stopped the 9-0 Laker run. Harper curling into the paint, rejected by Divac. Sacramento with numbers. Williams pushing it. Blind pass to Anderson for the reverse.
Now you asked if he's grown. One of the areas that won't help him grow is that was successful right there. Had that been a turnover, you'd say, well, maybe you don't make that kind of play. But Bobby is so good at doing these kind of things. Just about the moment you think he's going to get his head down, he comes back. Here's the block shot. They're going to be in the open court. And again, it's a spectacular play. You're down 8. It's the playoffs. You leave your feet. You're looking around. Oh, where am I going to go? At the last minute, he finds Anderson. He bails him out and gets the layup. They're within 6.
Great job.
There's somebody on my shoulder, and with his great ability, he leaps in the air, does a 360 spin, and lays the ball in the basket. And so much is talked about this Laker team and Shaquille O'Neal and how great he's become, and there's no question about that. But when you talk about a championship team, the emergence of this guy, Kobe Bryant, on both ends of the floor has taken them to the next level, in my opinion.
Lakers by 6. Pollard back in to guard O'Neal. Shaq immediately tests him. The rebound to Anderson. Pollard screening for Williams. Stojakovic double team. Still plenty of time. 9 on the shot clock. Stojakovic with the turnaround. Big move.
How much better is he playing today at home. Remember, he started out the game, he got that layup. Ever since then, his jumpers look very, very good. Boy, what a lift it would be for him to throw up a 20-point game today.
He scored 9. Rice, straight away, a two-pointer that spins out. Down 10 a moment ago. They can cut it to 1 if Williams hits this, which he doesn't.
Bad shot. It's a bad shot. Coming down, the defense is set. You launch up a 3. Go inside.
And a long 3 at that. He was well beyond the arc. Shaw, 5 on the 24. Brian Shaw with the jumper. Pollard had board position on O'Neal.
Now, come down the floor and get the ball to Chris Webber on the low block. Get the ball inside. Make something happen.
Webber's setting up high at the moment. Williams drives by Shaw and scores.
I'll live with that. He came down and he probed with the defense. They forced him baseline, no weak side LT. Kobe Bryant is sitting down now. He has the advantage quickness-wise over Shaw or Harper.
Williams with 8 points and 5 assists. Sacramento within 2.
3-second violation.
And a 3-second violation at the other end.
You see so many faces of Jason Williams during the course of the game. They're within 4 here. He comes down. 19 seconds on the clock. Defense back. That's not a good shot. Comes down, probes the defense. Takes his time. Quick crossover dribble, and he gets the score in the layup. That's what you want to see from this young guy.
Kings on an 8-0 run now. Webber. Hold on, says Ron Garrettson. It's on AC Green. It's his 3rd.
Bob, when you get in a playoff series, you can't play scattered. You have to have an idea of where you want to attack on every possession, especially if you're the Kings playing against the Lakers and you're down. So come down, probe, and get the ball in the right areas. Get it to Webber here, let him work.
Not an active shooting foul. Kings ball from the side. Williams has it squirt free. He saves it, but into AC Green's hands. And I see you grimace once more. Doug Collins reduced to just shaking his head for the moment. Pantomiming his dismay. Here's Shaq with the hop. The skip, but not the basket. He gets his own rebound. He'll try it again. AC Green. Shaq finally rests at 3, and then there's a whistle. And it's on Pollard.
This is where the Kings have to hold their ground. Shaq gets upset. He and AC Green on the offensive board. There's the block by Pollard, and Shaq just muscles through everybody and lays the ball in the basket. They call the foul. Going to be sideline out of bounds, not in the penalty situation yet for the Lakers. AC Green resting. Robert Horry back in the game.
Shaq, Stojakovic comes over to double. Rice leaning in and drawing the foul from Anderson.
Kings foul number 25, Nick Anderson, his first. Kings 15 foul.
Pending the outcome of games being played this coming week, the schedule of NBA playoff games for next weekend not yet determined. We do know that on Saturday, we'll bring you a second-round game at 3 Eastern, then on Sunday, an NBA on NBC's second-round playoff triple-header beginning at noon Eastern Time. TNT tomorrow, make it TBS tomorrow. Sixers, Hornets, Pacers, Bucks, each a game 4.
How about the 76ers? I mean, you've got Eric Snow with a chip bone in his ankle. Now you hear the same thing on Allen Iverson. Well, I don't know if I've ever been around a playoff situation with so many injuries that could decide the outcomes of series.
Ball batted around, and finally it's in Sacramento's hands. They still trail by only 3. Jason Williams makes it 1.
You gotta love his fearlessness. Sometimes his decision-making is questionable, but you can't question his heart.
Here's Shaq over Pollard, short, got his own again, and a whistle before the shot.
When Shaq shoots that ball, Scott Pollard has got to step back and get his body into him. Shaq is shooting it, and Pollard is turning to go into the basket. Now watch this, Bob. As the shot goes up, watch Pollard turn. And when he does, Shaq just follows it, and he goes right into him. If you'll get your body back into Shaq, he will have to come over your back.
A big reason why this is a close game. The Lakers are 9 for 22 at the line, and Shaq is 3 for 10. Now 4 for 11. He has 18 points and 17 rebounds. Pollard venting his wrath in the direction of Bob Delaney as he sits down, risking a technical. Devon's back in. Shaq makes them both.
That's 2 big free throws for Shaq. He was really struggling there. Now he's got to get a better feeling about himself going to the line.
Chris Webber. Shaq bats it to Fisher. Robert Horry. Glenn Rice.
Now, Rice had only 5 points in the first half. They've done a nice job on him, keeping him under control. Kobe gets in foul trouble. He has 6 in this quarter. He now has 11.
Webber, cross court to Stojakovic. His jumper is short, and it's Laker ball. The Kings just can't get over the hump for Rick Adelman here. They battled back. They're down 10. They pulled even in the first half at 30. They've gotten to within 1 a few times here. They've made their runs, but each time the Lakers respond. Rob Horry with the hook.
That's a great point, Bob. They've been playing uphill all game long. Eventually, that takes its toll. You make an emotional surge. They kick right back at you and bump it back up to 7.
Now it's the Lakers with 6 unanswered points. Webber.
I love it when he's down there. I just think it's such a problem for the Laker defense. It puts them in a decision. Do they want Shaq to come over and help?
When you have a player as good as Webber, I think Sacramento has too many trips down the floor where he doesn't touch it in position to score.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Rice from Shaq. Divac rebounds.
But that's the awareness I talked about, where you have to know what you want to do. And when you've got a guy like this with Webber who's got the advantage, you got to go through him. Let him make some decisions.
4-second differential now between the game clock and the shot clock. Williams fires a 3. Another questionable decision. The ball out of bounds to the Lakers with 4.9 on the clock. Harper. Fisher beats the horn. And the third quarter ends with the Lakers in front by 5, the same lead they held after 2 quarters.
Well, they've done a nice job on Shaq today. He has 17 points. It's a low-scoring game, and this is where Sacramento has been able to hang in there with the Lakers on their home court.
Shaq had averaged 35 through the first 2 games. Back after these words from your local station. 12 minutes of their season.
Sacramento is right in this game. They're okay. They're down about 2 possessions. They're in this ball game, but they have to play with intelligence right now. Every possession is vital. Every time that ball goes up on the board, no second shots, and they've got to give themselves a chance through efficiency, not just energy, to win this game. Now you've got to execute. Now you look at O'Neal, Bryant, and Rice. They've got a combined 49 points. In the 2 games in L.A., they got 80. They're right in the game.
John Barry finding Webber, guarded by Horry. The jumper, a very tough shot, and the rebound to Robert Horry. in the paint. Spins to the hoop, but doesn't get the bounce. And then commits the foul, going after his own miss. But that's his first foul since the first quarter, his third of the game.
He was so wide open, he shot the ball quickly. He could actually taken his time and almost dunked that basketball. He just shot it so quickly, and then his frustration went right over the back of Divac for the foul.
And O'Neal has shot just 1 for 8 in the second half. Weber finds Divac.
All right, what happened? He posted. When he drove, Shaq had to come over and help. Now Divac is open. That's why Weber's got to keep attacking. Don't just shoot that jump shot.
Stojakovic reaches over Rice and fouls him.
Now keep your eye on Shaquille O'Neal. As they go inside, they kick it out to Weber. He's going to penetrate. When he does, here comes Shaq. And there's Vlade right on the doorstep for the easy score.
Kobe over the smaller Delk. And Delk fouled him.
He did everything right except at the last minute he hit him on his arm. McAdam, the frustration there. Again, Bob, as you talked about it, they're within 3. Maybe you get a stop there. You get a chance, the three-point play to tie it as it is. Kobe shooting 2 free throws to push it back to 5.
The Lakers' free throw woes continue in this game.
And if you're Sacramento, you have to know that and know that you can't give up any layups. 11 for 25 on the game.
Delk finds Weber, who hands it right back to him. Delk was fouled as he released it, and he'll shoot 2.
Now, Brian Shaw knows you don't foul the jump shooter, so Tony Delk is going to get his opportunity now to go back to the line. If he can make these, it's a 2-point game. Still 10:32 to go. Plenty of time.
Delk has been a Kings bright spot in this series, hitting 7 of 10 from the field in the first 2 games. That's just his 3rd point in this one. Coming to NBC tonight, the 70s. A movie event with the hottest music of the decade. Marvin Gaye, 3 Dog Night, Jefferson Starship, Blondie, The Temptations, Billy Preston, Donna Summer, and more. The 70s tonight on NBC.
Let's watch that matchup now in this 4th period with Delk guarding Kobe Bryant. He's shorter, but he's got very long arms, and he's really the only guard with the quickness to be able to stay in front of Kobe.
Shaq backing in on Divac. Little jumper. Had to arc it high, and Stojakovic rebounds. They can tie with a basket here or take the lead with a 3. Weber. Delk on the offensive glass.
I really like Tony Delk. He's doing a nice job.
Weber can't tie it. Had a good look, couldn't hit it, but there's Delk again.
Long arms.
Stojakovic. They have the lead. They get it inside to Shaq. And that's how long Sacramento's lead lasts.
Here's what happened. He tried to post. Vlade flopped to take the foul, and when he did, nobody was there to guard him. Vlade's got to hold his ground. The referees are not going to give him that call.
Vlade is a flop master. Always has been, and sometimes it works. That time it didn't. He gets his own rebound, but loses it.
The hustle of Tony Delk got his team 2 open shots, and Stojakovic, a big factor in this game, hits a 3, gives Sacramento their first lead of the game. And even though Jason Jason Williams is not playing. He loves it. And then Shaquille O'Neal, they come right back when they're in trouble, go inside. You see Vlade fell down. They could not get over soon enough. The dunk, and the Lakers go back into the lead.
Sacramento led for all of 9 seconds, their only lead of the game.
Going to go baseline and shoot the jump shot. A little bit strong off the back of the iron, and a nice rebound. When they go to the timeout, Phil Jackson talks to his team, and especially to Shaquille O'Neal.
Put some energy. Can I get lift on your shot? If you need a rest, let me know. Barry.
When he talked about there, get some lift on your shot. He said, get some energy in the game. If you need a blow, let me know. Well, you see that? Shaquille O'Neal said, maybe I need a blow here, coach. So he's down. You can see the second half, 2 of 10. Sacramento has done a nice job defensively on Shaquille O'Neal. How much will he sit before Phil puts him back in the game?
So this brings John Sally off the bench. Kobe. Tough shot, but maybe not for him.
That is way too good. Way too good. I mean, come out of a timeout, Shaq's resting. What do? You go to Kobe Bryant, your second option. He hits a tremendous shot.
Here's Delk streaking to the hoop, but can't finish. Would have been a spectacular basket.
Sacramento must take advantage of Shaq's setting. Remember, in the first half, they didn't.
Kobe calling for the ball. Has it against Delk. Spins into the lane to the left hand. Gets his own rebound and puts it in. And the more I watch him, the more I'm convinced that while combining with Shaq is a prescription for team greatness, and that's what's most important to both of them. If you made him the #1 option on almost any team, he'd lead the league in scoring.
Couldn't agree with you more. And what you've also seen is what he's been able to do to be the second man and be able to still be a star with Shaq.
John Barry off with the 3. Rebound battle. And Sacramento's going to keep it. Actually, there's a foul on the play against Brian Shaw.
The maturation of a young star. Remember, this is just his 4th year. Remember in Utah, his first year, the air balls that he had to live through when they got swept. When they got swept by San Antonio, he's become a bona fide star. His energy, his effort, he does it on both ends. And if they win a championship, it's going to be his growth. It's going to be their form.
Stojakovic hits a 3, and Sacramento hangs in at 78-76. He scored 15 after averaging 3 in the first 2 games. Bryant had it knocked away, thought he was fouled. No whistle. Here comes Barry. Stojakovic off the dribble. Wanted a 3. Fox got up on him. It'll be Delk. Way off. But Barry is there. Divac. And a Laker foul.
Well, Chris Webber looked over at John Barry and he said, look, take your time. Don't launch up any quick shots right now. Shaq is out of the game. Let's go inside. Well, you know what? Phil Jackson sees that also. He comes right back with Shaquille O'Neal. Remember now, Sacramento's led for only 9 seconds this entire game.
The foul on Fox was his 3rd. Webber ties the game and has a chance to give Sacramento the lead.
Is there a power forward in the league that is more versatile? We know that Karl Malone and his greatness are the way, but look at the ability of this man to knife through the lane, to be able to get that shot up over the front of the rim. If he can make this free throw once again, Sacramento creeps into the lead.
It was Robert Horry's 4th. O'Neal has it back. Spinning baseline. Hit the side of the glass with it. Here comes Sacramento. Barry pushing it up the floor. Tony Delk. The tip. Delk again.
Tony Delk, what a spark he and John Barry are giving this team right now.
Sacramento on an 8-0 run. And Phil Jackson stops the clock.
Well, we've talked so often about how these Kings fans here at Arco Arena love their team. They have lifted them with the energy. Tony Delk misses it. Chris Webber follows. He misses it. Another effort by Tony Delk. And interestingly enough, offensive rebounds, which have been so crucial to the Lakers, in the fourth quarter alone, Sacramento has 10 second chance points. And this man, Tony Delk, I think if they have any hopes of winning this game, that Rick Adams is going to have to ride him out to the finish here. He's got to get right with Kobe Bryant and say, I'm going to defend him. And Jason Williams has to be ready if he's called on.
Kobe Bryant. Right in Delk's face, but it rattles out. Ori gives them a fresh 24. Rice doesn't use much of it. Misses the three. The rebound to Webber.
And look at Vlade Divac saying, take your time. Now, where are they going to go? Go through Webber, create, and maybe Stojakovic can get a jump shot here off this little two-man play.
Webber to Stojakovic, a brilliant pass.
That's a little special play that they run, the two-man game. And Stojakovic with 17 is a different guy at home.
Bryant has it stripped away. Here's Sacramento on a 10-0 run and leading now by 5.
Execution again. Go back to it. If it worked once, make them stop it. Webber and Stojakovic again.
Webber back to Delk. It was touched last by the Lakers. 7 on the shot clock.
When Stojakovic is shooting his jump shot well, it sets up his opportunity for a backdoor cut. He's against the vision of Glenn Rice, who was worried about the jump shot and gets the layup.
Divac on the move. Lays it off to Webber. Webber's got 27. Shaq fouled by Divac.
Vlade Divac attacking off the dribble. Again, Shaq waiting back to block the shot. And when Shaq comes over, the man he's guarding is going to be open. The facial expression of Chris Webber. He knows they have a chance to get a winner today. Rick Adelman is excited. And Sacramento's defense with this unit on the floor has been sensational.
Foul was Divac's 4th. Laker ball from the side. Kobe off balance. Doesn't get the roll. Webber rebounds. Outlet to Delk.
1-on-4, no place to go. But again, Tony Delk forced Kobe Bryant into a difficult shot.
John Barry. 14 unanswered points for Sacramento.
And how about this? Phil Jackson is not taking a timeout. He wants his team to try to play through this.
Rice finally ends the Sac Kings streak.
We're going to go back to that two-man play once again. Webber and Stojakovic, a call special.
Delk bumped, gets off the shot and hits it.
How good is he playing? He is the difference in this game. Tony Delk.
Webber got a hand on it and steals it. Up by 9 with 3.5 on the clock.
The Lakers are unraveling right now in the face of this pressure.
Webber hits the hook. And now Phil Jackson has no choice but to ask for timeout. His team, which in this half led by 10, now trails by 11. Chris Webber, 29 points, 13 rebounds.
The execution, though, in the half court. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Come off the screen, you pump fake. John Barry, the look on his face. Jason Williams likes it. And then Chris Webber in the post where he's doing all of his damage. Gets in the lane. The powerful jump hook. The Kings lead by 11. Webber 29, 13, 8 assists, 2 steals. And Sacramento feels they have a chance for a win. And Bob, what has happened is Tony Delk, you see what's happened in the game, plus 12. And he's been the difference. Now, why is Jason Williams not playing? Because as a coach, this is what you're supposed to do. If a team that's out on the floor is doing well, you stay with that team. And Tony Delk has been the only guy that can match with Kobe Bryant. You stay with he and Barry, they're getting the job done.
Here is Kobe. Little change of direction. Lays it off to O'Neal. Knocked away by Divac. But there's a Sacramento foul.
That's a good foul, though, because Shaquille O'Neal has struggled from the line. He's only 2 of 11 from the field in the second half. And, Bob, they have 80 points today. And in the first 2 games in Los Angeles, Rice, Kobe, and Shaq together averaged 80. Today they have 58.
As a team now, the Lakers are 12 of 27 at the line.
And if you're Sacramento, this game is not over. Scott Pollard is checking in. Now, why is he checking in? Because if Shaq catches the ball low, they want to foul him. Divac has 5. He can't do that.
Pollard also has 5, but they'd rather have him foul out.
Absolutely.
He missed them both. The second was a brick, but Ori rebounds. Can't score. And then he fouls coming over the back of Pollard.
Now, do you come back in with Vlade for offense? Actually, you're going to be shooting free throws, so they'll keep him on the bench. Very fortunate here. No block out by Webber. And then over the back, Ori on Pollard. Pollard will shoot 2 free throws.
That was Ori's 5th. Meanwhile, O'Neal from the line in this game, 5 of 14.
Now, you know what happens also, too? Everybody's talked about the invincibility of the Lakers. All right, this game is not over. But if they lose, it will put a little dent in their invincibility, that they can be beat. And now Phil Jackson will have to regroup a little bit. How will his team bounce back if they don't win this game? Very little adversity all year long from the Lakers.
Game 4, if necessary, would be here on Tuesday. Kobe Bryant. As he flashes through the lane, there's contact and a foul. And it's number 6 on Pollard. So Divac has to come back, whether that was Rick Adelman's choice at this juncture or not.
So that was 2 big misses by Pollard. Instead of pushing that lead up to 13, you miss 2, you foul out. Now Kobe's got a chance to shoot 2 to cut it to 9. There's still a lot of possessions left in this game. Sacramento's not out of the woods. They cannot start celebrating here too soon. Now Fisher's in the game for Harper. Why? Because you're probably going to see the Lakers get up the floor and start to pressure defensively. They really don't have a primary ball handler, so maybe Vlade or Webber's going to have to come back to help them here a little bit against this pressure.
26 for Kobe.
See, Webber can bring the ball up against the power forward. That's a good move.
Kings trying to use a little bit of clock here. Not too much. Delk was open and took it. When you feel it, why not?
Remember now, this guy won a national championship in Kentucky. He's a champion. He's been there before.
Rice stripped away and stolen by Stojakovic. Sacramento by 12 with 2:15 on the clock. And play is stopped on the other side of half court. It's number 1 on Fisher.
If Jason Williams can learn anything by watching, it's Tony Delk is not doing anything quickly or fast. He's taking his time. He's setting up the defensive man. And when he comes off that screen, he is on balance.
And there are times, you don't mean to be too hard on Jason Williams, whose passion for the game is palpable and who at his best is one of the league's most exciting players. But there are times when you can see he's got a notion in his head and you know it's coming for 5 or 6 seconds before it happens, whereas Delk is more apt to let the game and the play come to him. Here's Bryant.
There's no question about that. Again, it's not anything that Jason Williams is not trying to learn. It's a growing experience. Tony Delk has been in this league for a lot longer than Jason Williams.
28 for Kobe. A 10-point lead.
And Sacramento's missed 4 free throws here. Delk missed 2, and Pollard missed 2.
So they haven't quite put the Lakers away.
So, the big guys can handle the ball. Let Vlade bring it up. Take your time. Now, Ori pulled him down there.
Ori was trying to get the charge, but instead he's hit with the block. And he is fouled out. And now Jason Williams is coming into the game.
Now why? A little bit better ball handler against pressure. He's going to leave Delk on the floor and come in to give them a little bit better ball handler. And the big thing is, got to take his time, and he's also a very good free throw shooter, so he can do those things for them right now. Barry sets down to a tremendous hand. He's been Mr. Fourth Quarter for them all season long. That's when he's done his damage, and he did that today.
The rookie Devin George comes in with Ori having fouled out. Ori played 23 minutes, scored 2 points, had 6 rebounds.
5 missed free throws in a row.
Wow.
As a coach, you look at Rick Adelman, and the game never ends. You want for doubles, you want those triple zeros to get up there. You're shooting free throws. Just make the free throws, and you make 1 out of 6.
Bryant to the front court. Blows by Stojakovic and lays it in. Now he has 30.
They just can't give him baskets here now. They've got to do a better job. They've let Kobe just drive to the middle of the lane twice and lay the ball in the basket. Too much time for that, Bob.
Stojakovic. Quick shot against pressure, and he was fouled.
We got bailed out on that one. You want to use a little clock there. That was a good point, Bob. He took that a little bit too soon. Kobe Bryant in the open floor. Look at that. Behind the back, between the legs. Splits the defense. That one he laid in. The previous possession, he had a tomahawk dunk. So they're going to have to contain him and corral him in the open floor.
There is no 2-guard in the NBA. It's apparent now at this stage of the season. No 2-guard who combines offense and defense nearly as well as Kobe.
I agree. And that's 19 for Stojakovic. I said, remember, if he could get 20, that could be the difference. Well, he's right there right now.
Wow. Kobe for 3.
Wow.
How good is he? You can take that question to be rhetorical. Here's Stojakovic.
Use the clock. Still got 13 seconds.
Peja. Weber. It's off George's hands, and it comes to Stojakovic.
That might have done it right there. That second shot now. The Lakers are going to have to foul.
Now Williams putting on a bit of a dribbling exhibition. Toying with Kobe a little bit. Delk from the side. Bryant the rebound. But we're inside 45 seconds. Kobe before the shot.
Are you kidding?
Which he swishes anyway. There's a whistle.
Are you kidding me? Kobe Bryant split 2 guys. Jason Williams very upset, thought he got fouled on the other end. You see Rick Adelman trying to keep him calm down. Well, watch Kobe Bryant here in the open court. Watch this play. Behind the back, splits 2 defenders. Guy comes in behind him again, crosses over, gets 2 guys to run together, and he makes the shot.
And the free throw gives him 34. Remember now, he's in his 4th year in the league, but out of high school. He's 21 years old.
You think he'd be the first pick in the draft if he was coming out this year? But this would be his class.
I think there might be a chance. He makes it a 6-point game. 16 of his 35 in this quarter. And as they go for the steal, Kobe commits his fifth.
You know, everybody talks about Sacramento and their offense. Bob, let me give you a couple numbers. When they give up 100 points on the season, they are 4-21. When they hold their opponents under 100, they are 25-7. So you see today they've given up 91 points. Chances are they're in good position here to hold them under 100, which bodes well for this team.
At the beginning of the game, you were talking about the huge advantage the Lakers had on the offensive glass in their 2 victories in L.A. In this game, the offensive rebounds are almost even. 18 for the Lakers, 16 for Sacramento.
Well, there comes a point in time where you can do all the X and O talking you want. Then it comes down to attitude and competitive spirit, and you find out what you're all about. You're facing an elimination game. You get swept, and it leaves an awful taste into you going into next year, especially with Sacramento and all their expectations here this year.
Divot's 2 free throws give him 15 and make it an 8-point game with 37 seconds left. And barring a Laker miracle, it won't happen in Sacramento's house, at least not in Game 3. Game 4 would be Tuesday. In the fourth quarter, Sacramento has outscored LA 33-20. Kobe Bryant has 16 of the Lakers' 20 fourth quarter points. Shaq has only 2. In fact, Shaq has only 6 points in the second half and 21 for the game. Into O'Neal, looking for Kobe. He fires the 3. It comes up just short.
Sacramento's going to win this game. Let's see what their body language looks like as they walk off this floor. No celebration. You got to win. Make it look like you expected this to happen today. Don't be too excited.
Well, this was a team that, despite the fact that it had struggled toward the end of the regular season, had confidence against the Lakers based on head-to-head results. 24-second violation as Williams skids to the floor. They had lost 3 of 4, but their losses were by 1.3.7 points, and they had beaten them here on this floor.
In the 2 games that they're going to win here, the Lakers have had 91 points. In the game that the Lakers won, they scored 90. So all this high-flying, high-scoring by the Kings, if they can keep it in the 90s,